Okay, so we're going to begin working with PL/SQL, which is basically Oracle's extension of standard SQL. And by extension, we mean in addition to the select statements and the create table statements and all those, you will have added programming capabilities such as if then, if then else type of structures and loops and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to start doing this week. And basically I have like a problem-based lecture planned. And looking at the first problem here, what we're going to do is go into, there's that HR schema and there's a jobs table in that schema. And we're going to pretend that we're going in there and increasing the minimum and maximum salaries according to the consumer price index. I looked it up before I started filming the video. It's 1.1. So we're going to increase the minimum and maximum salaries in that table by 1.1. Okay. So let's go in here now. Here's the jobs. First of all, I'm logged in, or I'm connected as HR. So I'll be working in the HR schema. That just makes your life easier. So when you're confronted with a problem in whatever schema, just connect in that schema. It'll just make things easier for you. And we will just look briefly at the jobs table. You know what I think I'm going to do? Well, first, here's the data. Okay, so we have the job ID, job title. The job title is really not important. That's not going to figure in. But the minimum and maximum salaries are what we're going to increase by 1.1. All right. Table-wide. So anyway, you know what, I think what I'd like to do, and this is a good tip, it's not absolutely imperative, but rather than going into the original jobs table and changing the salaries, because once you change the data, it's changed. You can't undo like it's in Microsoft Word or something. It's a change is forever. So I like to make a copy. So here I am. I'm right-clicking the jobs table. I'll go to table, copy, and I'll call this jobs copy. And then I'll play with the copy, and I'll always have the original unchanged. So if you're going to do this, be sure to include the data. Otherwise, you just get the shell of the table with no data, and that doesn't help us, obviously, in this scenario. So, all right, so let's see. You know what? I think let me just lay out like the basic shell of a script, and this is what you're going to be doing script after script. So the first thing you're going to do is type this. Don't forget, this is an easy line to forget, but you want to put set server output on. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Hang on. Okay, set server output on. Okay, and basically that's so that when our script runs, we'll be able to see any feedback messages, or even I'll have you like doing constructing a little report, like a little output window that has all the records, like the minimum and maximum salaries, what they were, and the new values and stuff like that. So just start with that statement so you can see any feedback in this window down here. And then we have almost like a double-decker sandwich here. We're going to have this declare region, okay, and this is where we declare any script variables that we need. And then you have your begin statement, and then the end, and then you're going to end it all with a /. So this is really where the nitty-gritty is going to go, but this section is important too, the declare section, where we're going to put our variables. Okay, so anyway, why don't I get started on those variables. What we're going to do is work with the minimum and maximum salary. We're going to increase them by 1.1. Both of them are going to be increased. And I will need two variables in the script, one for the new minimum salary and one for the new maximum salary. Okay, and so why don't I begin with the, I'll do like a new min sal. Okay, new min sal. I made up that variable. It's just like being in a programming class. You need a variable, you have to come up with a good name for it. You also have to create a data type for it, or specify a data type for it. And you know, I guess here you have the Oracle data types at your disposal. All right, so this is perfectly acceptable, something like this. That's, you know, it's money, so we can do a number type with two decimals. That's one way of doing it. I'm going to comment that out. Here's probably a better way of doing it. This way you don't have to worry about your data types. All I know is that whatever that new min sal data type is, I want it to be the exact same as the data type for this column in the table. Okay, and then the same with the max sal, which we're about to create after that. So what I can do is just specify, okay, we'll call it new min sal. I'm going to keep that name, new min sal, and then I'll specify a data type of, you know, whatever the jobs copy dot, what is it, the min salary. That's the name of the field here, or the column. Jobs copy min sal, and then you put a percent sign, and then the word type. And that'll just find out what the data type is for that, and give your variable that same matching data type. So that's very nice. So we'll be using that a lot. Or again, if you really want to just do the, you know, Oracle data type thing and type it out yourself, that's fine. But let's do one for the max salary as well. Okay. All right. You know, another thing we're going to use, so that those are our salaries or variables for the new salaries. And one more thing that we're going to use, well, a couple of things. We are going to use a cursor. And let's talk about what a cursor is. We're basically going to run a query selecting all of the jobs from the jobs table, or the jobs copy table, I should say. And those records are going to be provided to us by Oracle. Okay, so you can imagine you run that query. A cursor is just a data set. It's the records that you asked for served up on a silver platter. So you can imagine a cursor as this. I mean, we're just going to be selecting from one table, but imagine these are the records that you selected, maybe from multiple tables if you're doing a join, or, you know, in this case just one table, but just all of the jobs. And then we're going to go through the cursor one by one record at a time, one row at a time, and update the salary information for that row. Okay, so that's what a cursor is. So it's just a data set. It's a record set of what you asked for from the database. So that's what we're going to do. We'll create the cursor. I'm just going to jump right in and create the cursor. It's cursor, and then I have to come up with a name for it. Why don't I call it the all jobs cursor? Okay, again, you can dream up a name for your cursor, but just make it explicit, especially when you're first getting started. You want to be able to easily recognize all the things that you're using in your script, and the only way to do that is to give them good descriptive names. All right, so let's dive right in. We're going to say the all jobs cursor is select, and then now we're home free. It's really just a select statement. All I really need from that table is the job ID. I need the min salary, watching my typing, of course, and then I'll need the max salary as well. Okay, that's from the jobs copy table. Oops, jobs underscore copy. Okay, so that'll get me all of the jobs served up on a silver platter, which is what I want, and then we're going to loop through that cursor one row at a time and change the job data one row at a time. So what I also need is a variable to represent just a current row in the cursor. So let me type that out. This will be a variable to represent just a single row in the cursor. Okay, so why don't I could call it single row or current row. How about current row? Let's call it current row. Again, just coming up with a name for my variable. And then I have to provide a data type. And I want to use another built-in Oracle command, just like we did here with the type variable. This is the data type. I don't know. What I want to do is just say, you know what, I don't know, I don't care. Just look at the jobs copy table and whatever a row look at the jobs copy cursor, I should say. The table would work as well. I'll just say, look at that all jobs cursor. Okay, and whatever the row looks like looks like in that cursor, that's what I want this single row to look like. Okay, so that should do it. And I think what I'll do is stop this video here. So that's our declare section. I'll continue a second video for the begin end section here.